When operating under a ranking officer, you will carry out and respect their orders to the best of your ability, and should you disagree with an order or a decision, you may take it up with that officer. You can take it up with a higher ranking officer, or you can take it up with another officer and discuss it amongst yourselves, but this must be done, generally speaking, at a later time. Insubordination, simply for the sake of insubordination, is not going to be tolerated. Am I understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You will, at all times, show the utmost respect, understanding, and care towards any and all law-abiding citizens. You will not pursue, target, or otherwise seek out a citizen without due cause. You will listen to and aim to understand what citizens tell you at any given moment where possible. You will, at all times, show the utmost respect and care towards all forms of government, city, and civilian property. You will operate equipment. You will not operate equipment that is unfit for purpose and thus endanger yourself and those around you. And you will maintain awareness of any and all obstacles that could be damaged by your police equipment at any given moment. Finally, you will at all times show the utmost respect and understanding towards the laws that you are here to enforce. You will abide by traffic laws at all times, ensuring that your vehicle is safe and is setting the example for those around you. Am I understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. Moving on to presentation and loadout. As a uniformed law enforcement officer, you are expected to appear and to behave in a professional manner to any and all civilians within the state of San Andreas. Your uniform, vehicle, and equipment all come together to build up your toolkit whilst on patrol and while upholding the law. However, they all have different purposes. The weapons of an LEO are one set of tools that should be used the least while in the line of duty, and they are an extreme solution to an extreme problem. At all times, it will fall to LEOs to de-escalate any situation to one where a weapon is no longer needed. Pop quiz. What is your most effective weapon or tool in the line of duty?
The mind.
Close.
Your mouth.
Exactly. There is one other answer that I would accept. Anyone else?
Your ears.
Anyone else?
Pure communication, logic, and reasoning.
I would put that under mind and mouth. You're both not. Neither of you are wrong. I would say another acceptable answer would be simply being there. So the presence of a police officer, 99% of times, is going to be enough to make someone think twice about being a dumb fuck. So essentially, if someone's thinking, I'm going to do some dumb shit today, they'll probably not do it if there's a police officer present. So your vehicle, your uniform, the badge, like I said, all comes together to form a presence. And more often than not, that presence is all you need to stop someone from making a fucking mistake. In this handbook, there is a list of the weapons available to you. I'm not going to go through those and explain what each one is for, as it's fairly obvious. I guess if we go through a quick, combat pistol is your standard sidearm, only to be used when essential. Pump shotgun is a crowd control device, again, only essential. Your nightstick is essentially a non-lethal way of beating some sense into someone. Your taser is a non-lethal option as well, with some range to it. Again, you know, you're always aiming to de-escalate. A taser would be a de-escalation from a firearm. Your nightstick would be a de-escalation from the taser. And doing nothing at all would be a de-escalation from all of them. The carbine rifle, again, sort of crowd control, generally only going to be used in situations where there is a robbery of some sort or a SWAT is needed. And the marksman rifle is also, well, actually, the marksman rifle is exclusively for SWAT teams. The vehicles available from the motor pool serve a variety of purposes. Different vehicles are going to handle differently. The Stanier that you can see here is generally going to be a regular patrol car. You're all going to be rolling those for a while until you are a full-fledged officer. So, cadet, probationary officer, going to be rolling the Stanier, like it or not. Tough shit, I don't care. Once you become a full-fledged officer...
Great car.
Say again?
Great car.
Yeah, they're not bad. The lights are a little shit on them, but again, tough shit. Let's see here. The Stanier would be an example of a regular patrol car. A Dominator would be an example of a high-speed interceptor. A Gresley is more of a utility vehicle, so transport or responding to something as a secondary or tertiary unit, as opposed to being the primary responder, since that thing is slow as shit. Same with the Bison, although it would be quite useful off-road as well. Let's see here. Let's move on to codes, signals, and phonetics. Code, signals, and phonetics are, generally speaking, going to be what we call the language of law. Yeah, it's a great name. We're currently trying to trademark it. But it's going to be the language of law. It is basically there to help you get information across as quickly as possible in as few words or syllables as possible. You're not expected to know every code, signal, and abbreviation off the top of your head, but you are expected in time to become as familiar as possible with these whilst on duty, essentially. And that is something that will come with time. It's not going to be immediate. It's not going to happen overnight. But I would recommend you are all going to have access to a sheet that has all these codes. Try and keep them nearby, so if you need to refer to them, then you can refer to them. But most importantly, do not panic if you forget a code. It isn't urgent. Essentially, the point of the codes is to convey information, but the most important thing is that you convey information. So if you get on the radio and you say, dispatch David 1, show me 76 to Mission Row PD with 11095, that's dispatch David 1, show me en route to Mission Row PD with 1 in custody. You can say either or. It says exactly the same thing. And the important thing is that the information is got across accurately, quickly, and clearly, whether that's with codes or without. So forgetting codes isn't the worst thing in the world, as long as you're able to accurately convey the information and get it across in a reasonable amount of time. Also, as a general note on radios, there are 2 points that are very important here. Number 1, the way radio is done is, hey you, it's me. Dispatch David 1. That's basically saying, hey you, dispatch, it's me, David 1. So, hey you, it's me, is the way we're going to do things. The second point would be to think about what you're saying before you say it. Don't get on the radio and be, dispatch David 1, show me 76 to Mission Row PD with 110. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear someone on the radio taking up 3 times as much time because they didn't think about what they're saying. You know, think about what you're going to say and then say it. Don't get on the radio taking up all the airtime, because while you're sitting there going, oh, Jesus, oh, geez, Rick, oh, God, Morty, why? There could very well be a bank robbery. There could be some other shit going on that needs to get through, and no one's going to... There might be some people that'll talk over you, and they'd be right to do so. They might say break to try and get you to shut up. But there's going to be others that are going to try and wait for you to finish what you're saying before they call out a bank robbery or something like that. So think about what you're going to say and then say it. So to go through some examples of signals, abbreviations, codes, and identifiers, Code 0, or David Charles, is going to be an unexpected departure from the city. I think you all know what that means. Code 0, David Charles, means exactly the same thing. Again, dispatch David 1, David Charles. Or dispatch David 1, Code 0. Means exactly the same thing. You all know what it means. It means I have mysteriously vanished from the face of the fucking planet. And I will be back. Unless I declare I'm 42, which we'll get to. Also, everyone make sure to move around a little bit so that you don't get abducted. Moving on from that, Code 1, Code 2, and Code 3 are all vehicle related. So Code 1, routine call, no lights, no sirens. Code 2, routine call, lights, sirens are only used for clearing intersections. And Code 3 is going to be emergency lights and sirens. And then horn for clearing intersections. Code 4 is going to be something that's very important for getting medical backup. If you are on a store robbery or any situation where it's a little dangerous, Code 4 is going to let dispatch and medics know that the situation is under control. So, let's say there's a violent person that we need to apprehend. We get them in cuffs. We get them in the cruiser. Dispatch David 1, show that recent, whatever, 1061, 10 whatever, Code 4. And that's going to be the point where dispatch and the medics know it is under control, no one's in danger, nothing's gone wrong. Medics are good to roll in, we have everything under control. Code 6 is going to be investigating or busy in an area. Let's say there's a vehicle theft nearby. Dispatch David 1, show me not 1023. Dispatch David 1, show me Code 6 in the area, that recent 1061. Now, that's actually a mistake that I've made plenty of times. 1023 and Code 6 are not the same thing. They have... the specifics of both are important. So, if you are Code 6 in the area of a vehicle theft, to me, that means you are investigating the area. If you are 1023 at that recent vehicle theft, that implies to me you have the vehicle. Because 1023 is arrived on scene. Code 6 is investigating. So if you don't have the vehicle, you're Code 6. If you do have the vehicle, 1023. And again, that'll come with time, that'll come with practice, and you'll hear it over the radio from other officers. A lot of this stuff will come with time and practice. In terms of common 10 codes, 10-4, I don't think I need to explain what that is. 10-7, out of service, 10-8, in service. Not to be confused with 10-41 and 10-42, which is beginning shift and ending shift. So, 10-8 is in service. 10-41 is beginning shift. If you are beginning shift, you don't need to say that you're 10-8. I've done it myself, something like Dispatch David 1, show me 10-41, 10-8, Mission Row PD. 1041 sort of implies that you're 10-8. You're probably not gonna begin your shift and go immediately out of service. So 1041 sort of implies that you're 10-8. Likewise, 1042, ending shift, sort of implies that you are out of service. So you don't need to say 1042, 10-7, Mission Row PD. If you're ending your shift, you're out of service. So... in other situations, I suppose 10-7 would be used if you are going to get a snack or a drink or to drop a massive shit, essentially. You are out of service. No one wants you responding if your ass is hanging out, all right? Moving on from that, 10-6 isn't actually in my list here, but 10-6 is busy unless urgent. That would be used if you are processing someone, essentially. So if you have someone in Mission Row and you're writing them up, you're going to be 10-6, which, again, busy unless urgent. So if 10-13 goes out, which is an officer done, or in urgent need of help, you are busy unless urgent. So that actually lines up really well with the next one, which is 10-13. I'm going to go ahead and pop a 10-13 so you can all know what that's all about.
Can I ask a question?
Yep.
Do you know when you're 10-6, can you say you're 10-6 if you're going for, like, vehicle repairs?
You would be 10-7. As far as I'm concerned, 10-7 is essentially I am out of service and I'm not responding to anything until I go back 10-8.
Okay, just because, like, if you cause, like, slightly damage or something and you're going to repair it, but then, like, 10-13 goes out, obviously you'd want to respond to that 10-13 because his vehicle's still in good condition. It's just
I would say if your vehicle's in a situation where it needs fixed quite urgently, keep in mind you'll generally have repair kits on you, so it's not going to be like you have to go back to Mission Row every time. But let's say you have to go back to Mission Row because you don't have repair kits and your vehicle is properly fucked. I would say in that situation, you're going to be 10-7. Like, if your vehicle is straight up not safe to use, 10-7. If it is just a little bit fucked and you kind of want to fix it up, honestly, I wouldn't even call that in. Just sort of roll by one of the police departments, get it fixed, and roll back out. You're still in service, you're still patrolling, you're just sort of taking a little bit of a detour.
Okay.
Let's see. 1020, location. Dispatch David 1. My 20 is going to be Fort Zancudo Approach Road. Again, you know, that one's fairly self-explanatory. 1023, arrived on scene. We already discussed this. Dispatch David 1, show me 1023 at the scene like last 1061. Means I'm out with the vehicle. Dispatch David 1, show me 1023 Mission Row PD with 11095. That's going to be subject in custody, by the way. We'll get to that. 1027, 1028, 1029 all go hand in hand. That's driver's license information, vehicle registration information, and check for warrants and wants. So, essentially, if you pull someone over and you need to get some info on them, you know, dispatch David 1, can I get a 10, 27, 28, and 29 on this subject, this plate, this blah, blah, blah. Again, that stuff, I mean, you'll get familiar with that as you go by and as you do traffic stops. 1032, shots fired, is one of the most urgent calls that will come through. If you hear shots fired called out in the radio especially, you're generally going to want to get ready to respond to that pretty quick. Shots fired can go out quite often in certain areas of the city as well. Forum Drive, Grove Street, etc. I'd keep an eye out for those locations, because if you see a shots fired come from Forum Drive, I can guarantee you there's probably about 5 or 6 gang members running around with pistols. And you're probably going to want to get down there pretty quick. 1038 is a traffic stop. There's multiple ways of doing that. Dispatch David 1 going to be out in 1038. 20 is going to be Fort Zancudo Approach Road, northbound. Alternatively, you can just say Dispatch David 1 traffic, and you could wait for someone to say something like go ahead. So, you know, Dispatch David 1 traffic, go ahead. Hold me out with green in color fugitive plate's going to be 00 ABC 000. Going to be northbound Fort Zancudo Approach Road, no additional required. Blah, 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 blah. Again, that's the kind of thing that will come with practice and will eventually just roll off the tongue. 1041, 1042, we covered those. 1050 is a traffic accident, so if you fuck your car into a wall, you've 1050'd. If someone else fucks their car into a wall, they've 1050'd. There's 2 types of it. There's a regular 1050, and then there's a hard 1050. Generally speaking, a hard 1050 is going to be when a vehicle is knocked out of commission. So you'll find that you'll probably find yourself calling a hard 1050 more often than vehicles get knocked out of commission. That's just the way it is. But generally speaking, that's the only case I would use a hard 1050 is the vehicle's done. Like, we've pitted it, it's hit a wall, it's done, it's not moving. Be prepared for someone to probably bail out of the fucking thing and run. 1052, ambulance needed. Pretty self-explanatory. Dispatch David 1, go ahead and roll 1052 to my last 20. 1076, en route. So, Dispatch David 1, show me 76 Mission Row PD. I'm en route to Mission Row PD. 1080, it's pursuit. Again, kind of self-explanatory. If someone's taken off and not stopping, Dispatch David 1 should be involved in active 1080. It's going to be northbound Fort Zancudo Approach Road. Vehicle's going to be moving at speeds of excess 100 miles per hour. Weather's going to be clear. Traffic's light, conditions clear would be the way to do that. Again, we'll cover that when we get to pursuit training. 1095, subject in custody. Self-explanatory as far as I'm concerned. 1099, wanted or stolen indicated. So a person can be 1099, meaning they are wanted and have warrants, or a vehicle can be 1099, meaning it's stolen. Or it's indicated as stolen, we should say. It's not explicitly stolen by the person that you're pulling over, but again, we'll get to that further in training. The common abbreviations is going to be next. UTL, unable to locate. CDS, controlled dangerous substance. DOA, dead on arrival. OIS, officer involved shooting, and RTB, return to base. Once again, this shit's all going to be in a book that you can all get your hands on shortly. Race identifiers. Number 1, African American. Number 2, Caucasian. Number 3, Asian. Number 4, Native American. Number 5, multicultural. Number 6, Hispanic. Moving on from that. Let's see here. There is a massive list of crimes, fines, times, etc. You'll all have access to that. I believe it's in police resources. You're not expected to know all of it, which is why it's in that list. Something to keep in mind, though, is that all of the times and fines can be lowered based on the attitude of the citizen that you're dealing with. They cannot, however, be raised based on that attitude. So, for example, someone may be a complete shitlord. That does not mean you can go higher than the maximum sentence for a charge. If they are compliant, understanding, respectful, and willing to listen and work with you, feel free to cut that charge by about as much as 50%. I would never go more than cutting it by 50%. Charges are there for a reason. People should still be taking the time and doing the punishment. But if they are compliant, I see no reason with up to 50% off. If they are a shitlord, no more time gets put on. I will say on that, just as a personal note, I will accept loopholes. Just as an FYI. Had a gentleman the other day who was kicking the ever-living shit out of the cell he was in Mission Row. He was informed if he keeps it up, he will be getting 1 charge of destruction of government property for every single kick. I counted 10 kicks. He wound up going in for almost, I believe it was like about 140 months. I told him I'd do it. I made it clear. He continued. I'd consider that a loophole. I just wouldn't recommend doing it very often. Otherwise, you know, we suddenly start throwing around numbers on our own rather than actually following the law. Knowing your abilities is very important. The police interaction menu can be accessed with the F6 muscle. This is going to be used for a variety of purposes, which are outlined in this document. Does anyone have any questions about any particular function of that menu?
Negative.
Okay. I will say that we do not send people to prison with that particular menu. We also do not fine them with that menu. Jailing and fining are done with text commands. So /jail space the person's ID space the time in minutes or months. Minutes, months, blah, blah, blah. We use months. Followed by the reason. Now, when you're writing the reason, instead of spaces, you have to use underscores or dashes. So generally speaking, you'd probably just do the largest reason that they're going in. And then afterwards, you're going to want to fill out an arrest report, which again, I believe is found in police resources. And that will fill into the spreadsheet that we refer to as the criminal records. But if everyone understands the police interaction menu, we'll move on to the next bit. All right. So, the Miranda rights. In the United States, the Miranda rights will vary from state to state, from department to department. Around here, it's simple. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided for you by the state if available. Do you understand these rights? Also just gonna walk around for a second. My fucking finger hurts and push to talk. Jesus Christ. The phrase by the state if available is incredibly important because if there's not a lawyer available, we're covered. Which is nice. There will be cases where a suspect is going to claim they do not understand the Miranda rights. Read them again slowly. If again they claim to not understand it, they're either...
I have a question.
Go on.
Isn't someone claiming not to understand the rights still an acknowledgement of the rights?
It is an acknowledgement of the rights, however, it could very well be them acknowledging the fact that they do not understand the rights. You will have to determine on a case-by-case basis whether or not someone actually is just sort of bullshitting. Because... I mean, you could read me something in Spanish and I can acknowledge it. But that doesn't mean I understand it. So The way I would do it is, again, just case by case. If they clearly know what they're doing, then you're pretty much good. But if they genuinely don't understand and it winds up going to court, then all the questions you ask afterwards, after that point, are null and void. The point of the Miranda rights is basically to inform the person they don't have to say anything, they can have a lawyer present, and anything they do say can and will be used in court. Meaning that anything you tell me, I am going to use against you if I have to. Which is why they have that right to remain silent. It is basically them just acknowledging the reality of those rights. If they aren't willing to... If they don't understand them, then you can go to a point where you just sort of run them up on whatever the most basic charge would be. So say you're taking someone in for something fairly basic, like possession of some weed or something like that. You basically throw them in for that. And you make it very clear to them that if they don't understand the rights, there's nothing you can do to help them. You know, try and be on their side. Make them aware that, you know, the rights are there to help them, or to help you to help them. So, you know, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you, blah, 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 blah. Let me go ahead and ask you some questions, get a full picture of what's going on, get your side of things, and then we'll make a decision. And, you know, if you are truly innocent in all this, and if someone is truly innocent, they'll understand the rights. If someone's got something to hide, they'll start going on about how they don't understand them. We've already covered arrest reports. Those are mandatory, by the way. Anytime you fine or arrest someone, there needs to be a report on it. In fact, I would recommend, if you're arresting them, do the report when they're in the holding cell in Mission Row. With that, that is going to be the end of the handbook. So if you bear with me, I'll see what our next section is going to be. Jesus Christ. Okay, we have covered being a police officer. We have covered service before self. We've covered, well, we haven't actually covered the, how you start service and all the different parts of Mission Row, but I imagine you're all relatively familiar with it. We've covered the basics in terms of 10 code signals, etc. We have not covered commands currently. So just to remind you, I believe /jail space their ID space the time in months / minutes space the reason is going to be how you jail someone. /fine space their ID space the amount, no reason needed, is how you fine someone. In police resources, there will, I don't know if it's there right now, but there will be a list of all the commands available to you. It's going to be worth looking at those when they're up there. We're not going to need all of them today. Go ahead.
How does one obtain someone's ID?
You can request it. You can also use the police interaction menu to go up to them and grab the ID yourself. Generally, I would not do that without good reason to do so. So, for example, if someone doesn't really know how to show you their ID, you can sort of do it yourself and just roll with the situation. I have requested the that vehicle how would I phrase it? I have requested that vehicle registration info also gives the ID. So if I run the plate on a vehicle, it'll tell me the owner as well as their ID, which would be another way to get that. Just as a reminder. Being able to see that information would be lovely. Let's see here. So the commands have been pretty much covered. We'll go into those a little bit more. In terms of radio communication, again, I'm pretty sure we've covered that. Hey, you, it's me. In terms of hailing other units, again, just, hey, you, it's me, direct. So, you know, dispatch David, sorry, not dispatch, David 2, David 1, direct would be, you know, David 2 from David 1, direct. So again, that'll come with practice. Just keep in mind, hey you, it's me. We've covered service vehicles for the most part. Cruisers are your standard patrol units. SUVs are secondary and tertiary units. Interceptors require extra training and a special certification. Motorcycles, exactly the same thing. Sort of interceptors, high-speed, traffic, extra certification. Helicopters, exactly the same. Certification, lots of training there. So, the next category, the next step is going to be driving your service vehicle. Everyone mount up.
Seatbelt.
Yeah, seatbelt check.
Everyone knows how to put their seatbelt on?
Tenfold.
10-4.
Alright.
Yes, sir.
I don't think I do, but I know.
Alright. Well, we'll have fun with you flying out of the windshield. So, first things first, knowing the speed limit. Speed limits are a little tricky to deal with because obviously some locals will drive at different speeds. Generally speaking, in the city, between 30 and 40 is going to be fine. On the highways, between 70 and 80 is going to be fine. On the country roads, I would generally just allow like 5 to 10 above the speed limit because, again, some of the locals, you'll find them doing like 20 on a 50 road. So just sort of, go by eye, go by what you're seeing, and 5 to 10 above that, depending on how recklessly they might be driving as well. Knowing vehicle-related codes and signals is obviously important. We've already sort of covered that, so codes 1, 2, and 3. Obviously, code 1 would be as I am right now, no lights. Code 2, lights only. Code 3, lights and sirens. Alright, so let's do some driving practice. Let me just have a quick look at my GPS real quick. Alright. Go ahead and follow me. Who do you think is going to crash first?
Probably all of them.
Probably. We seem to be missing 2. 3?
I don't think they know how to drive.
Sweet Jesus.
Am I the only one that didn't get broken?
Okay, fix those up. That path you just took, we're gonna race. That's literally what we're gonna do here. We are gonna.
No.
It is gonna be a race. You're all in exactly the same vehicle. So it is not a race of speed. It is a race to see who knows how to turn a corner, who knows what they're doing. Pretty much ignore my vehicle. I'm just gonna be observing. You're gonna be doing. Let's do 3 laps. And it's going to be on the 4th honk of my horn. So this isn't your starting. This is an example. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, go. It'll be on the long one. All right, everyone ready?
Mm-hmm.
Tenfold.
10-4.
They are all going to die. I am curious to see how this goes, though.
One out already.
Fix it up. Keep on going. Was that who I think it was?
I think so.
It's lap 1. Oh shit. Nailed it. Did it with style, chat. Did it with style. Did he just crash again? Destruction of government property, yeah. Keep going! Move, move, move! Keep it going! Catch up, go on! He's not going to catch up. So this is lap 2 that they're on? Or no, they're on lap 3? Or what? I don't know what they're on.
On lap 3.
Fuck.
Or just going on to lap 3.
Alright. Well, the good news is that the vehicles you're all in are completely identical, so I don't actually know who won, which is the point. I
That'd
don't-
be me
Yeah.
to brag.
So, next
I
question.
mean, I fucked it and still didn't lose.
I would say that fucking your vehicle is not exactly a fucking your vehicle is not exactly a bragging point.
I'm not dead, so I'm taking it as a win.
Not dead yet.
Crashed your car. That means somebody got away.
You 1050, which means if you were chasing someone, unless you have other units, the perp would have gotten away. That's just the reality of it. And it will happen. It'll happen to everybody. Obviously, city streets are going to be a lot slimmer and thinner. So you'll have that to deal with. But that was alright. I mean, I just wanted to see who sort of gunned it around corners and who sort of slowed down for corners and all that. We are eventually going to take the vehicles out onto actual roads just to see how you handle it there, but I don't think we want to do that just yet. I want to look at pit maneuvers to start with, and then we'll look at some traffic stops, and then we'll probably take it out onto the streets to see how you guys handle that. So we'll start from we'll go from left to right, I guess. Who's leftmost? That's 72?
Harris.
That'll be Harris.
Ah, right, not 72. All right.
Adam 58.
All right. You've done some of these before, right?
That's correct.
All right, that's perfect. You're going to be good to start with then, so everyone can sort of see what's going on. So everybody but Harris, turn your lights off.
Everybody but Harris, turn your lights off. It's Q.
Is somebody dead? Give him a little nudge, see if he's awake.
Turn your lights off.
Oh, you shush.
Okay, the big glowing yellow line down the middle of the runway, that's going to operate as a divider. So right side of it, obviously right side of traffic. Left side of it is going to be, you know, oncoming traffic. For the purpose of this demonstration, everyone that is not performing the pit maneuver, which is everyone but Harris, I want you on the left side of that line. Harris, you're going to be on the right side with me. You're going to be attempting to pit me.
10-4.
Will not... Don't bother requesting it or anything like that. You don't need to worry about dispatching in for requesting. Just sort of show a pit. I'll get up to about 60 or 70 and sort of lock in about there. Just so it's a consistent example.
All right.
All right, let's go. So that, as far as that's a fucking jet taking off. Huh.
I mean, it was a military base.
Yeah, I just never seen them take off from a fucking taxiway before. That, as far as I'm concerned, was a fucking perfect pit maneuver. On city streets, that would have wrecked me. I would have hit light poles, I would have hit buildings. On country roads, I would have been over dirt and hills and bumps and shit. It would have fucked me. And if it didn't completely fuck me, it would have put me on the path to being fucked. So that was good. That was a perfect example of a pit. And I'm actually curious to see how everybody else does after just the one example. So Harris, if you want to hop up to the left, and we'll start with Adam 53. We'll go up the line here. We'll go up the numbers. So go ahead and turn your lights on.
I'm gonna run out of fuel soon, by the way.
Yeah, we'll get some new vehicles after the pits. So again, it'll be straight down here. I'll get up to about 60, 70. Once we're hitting those speeds, move in for the pit. Near enough perfect. I think there was a little bit more of a shunt than a push.
I feel like the idea is not to fuck your own car. in the
Also,
process.
yeah, don't get your own vehicle in the line, because like, if I'm actually trying to get away,
I didn't mean to hit you at the same time.
no. But what I'm saying is, if I'm actually trying to get away, I'll try and swing my car around again. Which, in that kind of situation, if you're too close, I will hit you. Right. I want to do that one again. So we'll get you going again. Everyone switch sides, though, so we're going down this way. And exactly the same thing.
Way of doing it. I
Yeah,
suppose.
I mean, that, again, that was a little more in line with the way I'd recommend kind of doing it. Obviously, in the heat of a moment, in a real situation, you're not necessarily going to have the time to line your car up and go for a proper shove kind of push thing rather than the shunt. But that was good. That actually did sort of fling me across the runway a fair bit, so I would have went straight into a wall, or if it's a crowded street, a group of pedestrians. Either way, you know, the vehicle would have stopped. But that is why, in actual situations, you can't just go for a pit. because that kind of thing could happen, and I could go through a group of pedestrians. So on actual roads, in actual situations, you're going to have to, radio in, dispatch David 1 requesting pit. Blah 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 blah. Dispatch. If you haven't given conditions recently, dispatch will probably ask, David 1 dispatch, what's the conditions? And it's going to be traffic light, weather clear. If that's the case, then a pit is viable. If the traffic's pretty rough and the weather's fucked, then a pit is less likely. But that was alright. Again, you'll get more examples of those when we actually go into practicing 1080s, which will be a bit later. Let's see here. Adam61, you're up. Exactly the same setup. We'll get up to about 60 to 70 and then go for the pit.
Alright.
Huh.
You did?
The
I think he's having a seizure.
I'm good.
Okay.
right, okay.
I'm sorry.
Let's try that again. So, Hamez, go ahead and drive this and get it to around 60 or 70. Give me your cruiser real quick.
Shit, seatbelt.
Hop into this. Hop in with the cruiser.
Alright.
Uh,
Seatbelt check.
Same thing, Hamez. Just get up to about 60, 70 on the right hand side there. Basically, where I'm aiming there is where you want to be hitting that back wheel, but not at full speed.
Alright.
Like you come in and then you push across. You don't sort of like you come in with more of like a ram than the tap to the side.
Alright.
Keep going. And it's not always going to work, like especially if someone knows what they're doing with the driving. But you can sort of come in and then angle your vehicle and go for that wheel arch and something like that.
Alright.
Like that's knocked the vehicle out of commission, I think. No, it hasn't, but it's smoking, so that'll stop working.
Oh fuck!
Oh my god.
You didn't have your fucking seatbelt on.
Oh no.
Come on, you know me. I don't put it on.
I've noticed.
They put it on.
But yeah, something like that. Basically, you go in and you kind of line up, and then you kind of angle yourself towards that wheel arch, rather than just going for a straight ram.
Okay.
So we'll do the same thing. I'll sit in the passenger side of the cruiser.
Fuel.
We have enough for one more run.
Alright.
Why is the gang lord there? Escobar is also our developer.
What?
So he's helping out. Whenever you're ready. He's helping out with the training. He also plays Dodgy Dave, who usually helps out with the training.
Shit.
Picks up, reset, let's go again. Let's go. match the speed. Okay, that worked. That wasn't bad actually. That worked. On a street, that would have put him into a wall or something, so that works. One more. Get closer to him real quick. One more. So, match his speed before you go for the ram. You don't have to do it in all one motion, so you kind of get matched with his speed, and then you start going in. Because I think what you're doing is you're kind of getting up to speed and going straight in. You're not putting like a small pause between both.
So basically boss before I do it then.
Just a small pause. Like basically you kind of get up there, you make sure you're matching speed. So at the minute you're matching speed, then you would go in. You might have to turn at a sharper angle than you're thinking you would. I turned a little sharper than I usually would. Let's go for one more.
Okay.
Let's go. So basically you get alongside. Just keep going, keep in line, don't turn yet. So you get alongside, and then at this point, yeah, that's perfect. He countered it, that's fine, they'll do that. But you get alongside, then you turn in. Make sure you're hitting that wheel arch though, that was a little too far forward. But the wheel arch or the back end of the vehicle, and it will generally spin out.
Alright.
But that's something that can be practiced. Like the most important thing is, get alongside and then turn in. You're not, you don't want to sort of go out and then in again in one motion. It's not so much like it's not so much like a curving kind of smooth, slide out to the side and then back in towards the back of the vehicle. It's a straight line with like an angle at the end, basically. So,
Alright, fair enough.
you stay in a straight line like this and then angle, rather than just sort of going out in a big curve. But again, that'll come with practice. That's fine. It's
Okay.
it's one of those things that with a bit more again, like on the streets as well, it'll be much easier to actually gauge a pit maneuver, because you can go in for them, especially on like a corner. If someone's taking a corner and you can get in there, the back end of the vehicle, like they are fucked.
I need a new vehicle.
Okay.
Thank you.
72, you're up.
Seatbelt.
If you die, it ain't my fault.
Same thing, let's go. Get alongside. Get your front left wheel in line with his back right.
Not quite.
Not quite. Give yourself more room between the wheels. Like go out a bit further. Kind of.
Out further, right, okay.
Basically, you want maybe the width of a car there, and then you kind of slowly go in.
Careful.
Let's go again. Get in behind him. So you get in line, then yeah, that's exactly it. Then you probably don't want to ram him again. That was more of a using your vehicle as a weapon than a tool. So
I see.
let me take the driver's seat real quick. I'll give you an example of what I mean. Actually, if all cadets want to hop in this vehicle real quick, I can.
Can't fit.
Which one?
Okay, actually, you know what? Harris
Right,
knows
that
this,
was
so yeah. Everyone but Harris get in me bloody car. So he's already gone through that.
Seatbelt check.
All right.
All right. What do you want me to do then?
We'll continue. Just
stand there,
basically,
look
I'm just
through.
going to show like one thing to them real quick.
Cool.
Right. So I just want to kind of demonstrate the motion that I'm talking about with the pit maneuver. So you're moving down like this. You're moving in a straight line, sort of, you know, weaving a little bit, but generally moving in a straight line. And then you get your vehicle in line with them and then push across, right? So that is the kind of shape that you want to be making with your vehicle when going in for a pit maneuver. What you don't want to be doing is what I'm about to do here, which is going in a straight line, arching out, and then moving in like that. That's using your vehicle as a weapon, not a tool. Going in a straight line and making that precise sort of flick, into, like, you know, kind of shove into the back of their vehicle, into the back, you know, quarter panel, in the back wheel arch, that's using your car as a tool. Whereas going out, basically getting up some fucking ramming speed, is the equivalent of trying to recreate that one scene from The Last Jedi. You are trying to push them, not break them, right? Like, you aren't trying to break them with
So it'll
your
do more
car.
damage to you as well.
Yeah. And if you, that's the thing, if you go out wide and go in like this, you're hitting them with your engine block, which could fuck your engine block. If you're going in this straight line and then gradually moving in for that shove, you are using the front left or front right of your vehicle rather than the whole front and engine block. So that's pretty much why, you know, you want to go out and you're basically trying to line like this. You sort of line pretty much the front of your wheel with the back of theirs is going to be about perfect. Because then as you turn in, you know, in this case, he's not moving, but, you know, if he was moving, you'd hit like this. So the front of your vehicle hits the back of their wheel. And that's going to be enough to shove it. Like, I can shove it while it's not even moving a bit. And that's basically what you're doing. You're creating a pivot point with the front of their vehicle.
So would you let me try that again?
If you want to try it again, feel free. I'll let yeah, if you want to try it again, feel free. I'll kind of stand back here and watch.
Yeah, I think I'll go one more.
All right.
What
I feel like I keep getting the
car is
wrong
it,
car.
Dylan? Car. Which one is it?
I think you deleted
one?
yours. Oh, P1.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, go on.
All right. While they're doing that, can I request a new car? This one's running out of fuel. Thank you.
So next up is going to be traffic stops. So what we'll be doing with those is I think Harris will get you to basically pull either me or Escobar over. We'll do regular traffic stops where it's just a misdemeanor, like running a stop sign or something.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
How do you address somebody when you basically stop them or pull them over?
Harris, you want to go ahead and sit in your car there real quick? I'll do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that is a good question, because I mean, I feel like in this day and age, if you address someone as sir or madam, then...
Alright, so everyone get a view and, you know... Fair point on the sir or madam thing. I usually don't consider that. There will probably come a day where I'm going to regret that. I mean, okay, let's put it. Let's say that in this case.
And you don't just walk up and state who you are.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You just walk up and state who you are. So in this case, let's say I've pulled them over, I've done the checks, now I need to make contact. Walk up, touch the back of the vehicle. Why do we touch the back of the vehicle?
Fingerprints.
Because that puts your DNA on the back of their car, so if they run off, you have proof that it was indeed that vehicle.
Bingo. If you get fucked, you can at least prove that it was that vehicle because you've touched it. In my case, I'm wearing gloves. I'd be fucked.
Got gloves.
So anyway.
You did, sir.
How's it going? Trooper Conflict, San Andreas State Police. Reason for the stop is going to be the failure to yield at the stop sign back there on Vespucci Boulevard. Can I see license, registration, proof of insurance, please? That's it. That's it.
Absolutely. One moment.
How's it going? I'm blank from blank. Reason for the stop is blank. Can I see blank, blank, blank? Don't say the blank. I swear to God. If someone goes out in the streets, it's like, how's it going? Trooper blank from San Andreas blank.
So,
You're fired.
so we don't say the blank.
You're fired.
What if my
We
name?
don't, we don't
Blank?
say it, to be clear, we don't say
You
blank.
do, you do not say blank.
Are you sure?
What if my name's blank?
Change your damn name.
Oh, for fuck.
I like my name.
Too bad. I bet you like that beard this morning, too. Looks like crayon.
That's just discrimination.
I, too,
It's
have a
discrimination.
beard. It's not
Ginger
discrimination. I have
It's not
taste.
discrimination, it's
Yeah,
just
you're
a shit beard.
ginger. You can't really talk.
I'm also your superior officer. Anyway, just once more, it's walk up, touch the back of the vehicle. You might want to actually let them, make them aware. So yeah, it's literally just, how's it going? Trooper Conflict, San Andreas State Police. Reason for the stop is going to be blank, 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 blah, 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 blah. Why does he have a bag in his back? I think he couldn't take it off. He wouldn't have that on patrol. What do you want? Call that a knife? This is a knife.
What happened with your voice, Trooper? Oh god. Oh, but
Look, I cut his hair. Anyway. I'll put it away.
Why are we pulling guns on superior officers? What has happened?
It
Why
was
is the superior officer fucking stabbing a cadet?
it was a plastic knife, you dick.
Well, I didn't see
Didn't
that.
feel
so-
like one.
Didn't feel it. Yeah, that's because you're made of fucking paper. Fucking paper, skin, crayon, beard. Makes sense.
Wait, you feel like a dick, is that why you're so tiny?
oh,
I feel like he's a bit shit at the insults.
3 more laps.
You're
Go.
going to learn that I am.
3 more laps.
What, of this?
Go.
Just because it was so
3
shit,
more
I'll-
laps. 4 more laps. 4.
I'll have 4 more laps.
he should run that instead of.
Oh, I'll make him run the 5th.
Probably won't even make that, let's be honest.
No, probably not. He'll just go sit in the corner somewhere for 5 minutes. Right, like I said, it's going to be as simple as walking up and then, so in your case, how's it going? Officer Stone, Los Santos LSPD. LSPD is going to be easier to say. In my case, San Andreas State Police is easier than SASP. But
So
yeah.
LSPD, huh?
So, how's it going, Officer Stone? LSPD. Reason for the stop's going to be failure to yield to a traffic control device back there on Vespucci Boulevard. I saw you run that stop sign. Can I see license,
Here it comes.
registration, proof of insurance, please? Or, how's it going, Officer Anderson? Or generally speaking, I would use officer. I mean, you're not
Not cadet.
going to be patrolling on your own as a cadet anyway. But when you get your FTO time, when you're out there with an officer, or if you are given your own vehicle as a cadet, I wouldn't identify yourself as a cadet. Just use officer, because I guarantee you someone's going to go, oh, cadet, really? Well, I can fuck with this person. So just use officer.
Yeah.
Same stands when you get promoted from cadet to probationary officer. Again, just use officer rather than, how's it going? Probationary officer Anderson or Harris or whatever. Just, how's it going? Officer Harris, LSPD, reason for the stop's going to be this.
No.
Is he? I swear he hasn't gone past
Did he
once yet.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's
I
gone
think
past
he-
once.
He got on
This will
past
be the
one.
second
I told you he
attempt.
wouldn't
Was there 3 laps?
Somebody
Say
broke
3
the
or
car.
4.
Just get over
What
here.
happened to 4 laps?
Just
was
fucking
it
get
3 or
over
4?
here.
4.
I would listen if I were you.
All right. To reiterate for the absentee, upon pulling over a vehicle, there is a process. We're about to cover that. We are about to practice traffic stops anyway, so. Upon pulling over a vehicle, there are some things to keep in mind. So, the way I would recommend doing things is before you even light up a vehicle to initiate the stop, get the info. So the numpad 5 button on your dashboard is going to activate your ALPR, automatic license plate reader. There's a front and back one.
That muscle doesn't work for me currently.
That'll need
Not
sorted.
just in the car.
It's just right now, basically.
That'll need sorted ASAP.
You have to be in the car.
No. As in, it's just not. It's not
What?
gonna. It'll not work.
Yeah.
Works for me.
It doesn't exist. That
Yeah,
that button does
yeah.
not exist on the dashboard in her vehicle. Yeah, exactly that. Basically, you get the plate of the vehicle, and before you even light them up, you want to radio it in. So dispatch David 1, traffic. Gonna be westbound Zancudo Approach Road. Plate's gonna be whatever this is, 45 Lincoln Adam Ocean 542. It's gonna be a black and white police cruiser. No additionals required. And then if dispatch comes back and says that vehicle's wanted stolen or registered to a felon, then you escalate it from there. But once you've called it in and you feel comfortable having called it in, that's when I would go ahead and light them up. Because that way you don't pull them over and then sit there awkwardly for 2 minutes going, dispatch, David 1, traffic, going to be a black and white police cruiser. Plate's going to be 45 Lincoln Adam Ocean 542. Going to be westbound Zancudo Approach Road. It means that the second they stop, you can get out of your car and do what you need to do. They're not going to be sitting there for 2
Question.
minutes awkwardly going, how do I get out of this? Go ahead.
So when you was calling in dispatch before, you said David Charles. Is that also acceptable?
Did I say David Shaw?
Yeah, you said David Charles, Adam.
Oh, no. David 1.
Right, okay.
It's unit number. Dispatch, so, hey you, it's me.
Ah,
So it's unit number.
Right, okay,
David, to be honest, unit numbers may be changing soon to drop the letter. and it'll just be numbers. Because honestly, dispatch David 1, David Charles is just weird to say. So we may just go for all numbers very soon. I'm not sure though. But with that said, what I want to go ahead and do is run a traffic stop. So Harris, if you want to grab a vehicle, you'll be running the first one. Everyone pile into his vehicle, please. I'll be sitting with Escobar. We're going to be operating under the assumption that I am not in his vehicle. I'm just here to observe, so it is just going to be occupied one time. And all of you are just there to observe. Don't get out of that vehicle. Other than Harris.
Seatbelt.
Reason for the stop is just going to be failure to yield to a traffic control device. Whether it's a red light or whether it's a stop sign is entirely up to you. When you're ready.
Understood.
Also for this one, use the radio.
Dispatch, this is Adam 58. Show me doing traffic, pulling over a black in color Dominator. Plate's gonna be 4-8 young. Young Zebra X-ray 798.
10-4 Adam 58, showing you traffic. What's the 20 on that vehicle?
That's going to be Great Ocean Highway facing eastbound.
10-4.
Good afternoon, this is Officer Harris with the LSPD. Do you know why I've pulled you over? Alright, so just want to let you know you ran a stop sign back there. Can I please see your license, registration, and proof of insurance, please?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, so that's going to be a James Escobar.
Yep.
In this situation, he doesn't have warrants.
Alright, so just want to let you know you are supposed to yield to stop signs. I would feel that that would have been dealt with in training. In the future, please do so. I'm just going to give you a quick fine. Just one moment.
Pause. So,
I'll admit I've completely forgotten what to do at this point.
it's all good. Step over the line real quick. I'll just run through it real quick.
Can I ask a question?
Yep.
So, once you've got the ID and everything, can you go back to your cruiser and just sit in there while you?
That's exactly what I was
process
going to do. So let's say I've just
And
radioed it
then
in.
I've got another one. Sorry.
Bear with me. Let me just. Yeah, go ahead.
It was just basically like, if it's like, can you just give them a warning, or do you have to give them a
You can give in this case it would be a written warning, essentially, is the way it would work. So it is an official
So does
warning.
that basically mean?
It's a warning.
So
It is not a fine. They are not being charged anything. They are not. It's not going on their record. It's just a written sort of. It's a way of, you know, saying, hey, you fucked. What the fuck?
Sorry.
It's a way of saying, hey, you fucked up without actually charging them anything.
So
And it's your record.
if someone
of
gets a
warning
warning, how do we keep track of the warning?
them. You would put it through an incident report as well. To be honest, the incident reports thing is probably gonna change kind of soon as well. It'll be a very similar system, so the training for it applies, but the way the records will be done will probably change. So bear with me. Let's say I've just radioed everything in. He's pulled over, and I am, yeah, I'm not, you know, doing this. How's it going? Trooper Conflict, San Andreas State Police. Reason for the stop is going to be failure to yield to a stop sign back there on Vespucci Boulevard. Can I see license, registration, proof of insurance, please? That's one, Mr. Escobar, correct?
Yep.
All right, Mr. Escobar, go ahead and sit tight. I'll be right back with you. All right, so in this situation, what I'm doing is basically I've taken his details. Within the situation, I've effectively taken his license. I know who this is. I know his number at this point. Typing on the MDT is basically a way of confirming that you are doing something, and obviously it's going to let him know that you are doing something. He's going to know you're typing on the MDT. Coming back to the vehicle and typing is your opportunity to go and look at the records. Now, obviously, in this situation, he doesn't have any records because we're not doing felony stops yet. But, you know, in this situation, he has no records, he has no wants, no warrants, no previous, so we are good to either fine him or issue a warning. In this case, it'll just be a warning, so we've checked his records, we're good to jump back out of the vehicle and walk back over. Alright, Mr. Escobar, sorry for keeping you waiting there, sir. Here's your papers back there. At this time, just going to be issuing you a warning. Those stop signs are there for a reason, to keep you safe and to keep everyone else safe. You got to stop, check both ways before heading through an intersection back there, especially one as busy as Vespucci Boulevard. But with that, sir, it is just going to be a warning, so once traffic's clear, you're good to go ahead and pull forward and get on with your day. Thanks for your time, sir. Have a good one. Dispatch David 1, mark me back in service. So that's basically it. In that case, you know, if it's just a warning, no wants, no warrants, you are fine to just, you know, be friendly, be courteous, do what you got to do, but you know, maintain control of the situation. In that kind of situation, there wasn't really anything I needed from him other than his license. It is worth mentioning that we can, at the side of a vehicle like this, use the F6 menu to actually see if he has a driver's license, which is probably something we maybe also want to be able to do through commands. But we can, right here, you know, F6, citizen, C license. In his case, he has everything. So that's fine. You can do that as he's giving you his license, so you can sort of do it at the same time, so it's not going to be taking up extra time. But what I was saying was, in this situation, there wasn't much I needed from him, so that's why I didn't really give him much room to talk or respond. I didn't really need him to. You know, I caught him dead to rights going through an intersection when he shouldn't have been. You know, all I need is your license to see where I go from there. And with no wants, no warrants, nothing major, just a quick warning, just make it clear what's going on, and he can go about his day. He doesn't really even need to say a fucking word. Although, yeah, that's going to be situational. Anyway, I think rather than moving towards actually executing a stop, what we'll do is run everyone through just the procedure of getting out of the driver's seat, walking up to the vehicle, touching it, saying what you need to say, coming back, check his shit, walk back, let him go. Just to sort of get a feel for that. So whoever wants to go first, we'll do it, say 2 or 3 times each, and go from there.
I will happily go first.
Harris, if you want, actually, I was thinking you could go for 1. Again, you know, you've gone through some of this, but probably just worth going in for 1.
Fair enough. Morning, sir. This is Officer Harris with the LSPD. Reason for the stop is going to be you failed to yield at a red light. May I see your license, registration, and proof of insurance?
Sure.
Alright, just one moment. Alright, sir. So, all I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a written warning. This is not going to be a fine or anything like that. Basically, don't do it again. Red lights are there for an obvious reason. They keep you safe. They keep everyone else safe. So I'm going to get you to sign this, and then you're good to go.
Right, okay.
Alright, there you go. So you're all good to pull out. Don't do it again.
All right, that works. 72, you're up. Up in the driver's seat.
2 is... so questions first, just to make sure.
Yeah, go for it.
So it's basically walk up, name, ask for ID.
On a basic
Hello.
stop like this, yes. Basically, what we're doing
Okay.
here is the most basic stop you're going to have, which is... and let me point out, you are unlikely to wind up pulling someone over for running a stop sign unless they blatantly fucking run it. Traffic lights are more common, but this is the most basic stop you'll do. And this is just to get you into the mindset of walking up, introducing, and having authority on the situation.
Okie dokie.
Also, as a general FYI, just sort of actually touching the car can work as well. You don't have to do the thing I did. It's entirely up to you.
Evening, citizen. My name's Wolf.
Start
I get
again.
pulled over today.
Start again. Start again. Don't do fucking
Citizen?
fucking evenings. All right, RoboCop. Fuck's sake.
Well, that's where he is, isn't it?
Yes, but don't fuck. Oh Jesus! Like I swear to God, we're gonna get to 1080 training, and you're gonna just be like, "Your move, creep." Like Jesus Christ! Don't evening, citizen.
Don't tell. Can I say? Am I allowed to say evening?
Yeah, say evening, but not evening, citizen.
Right, fine. Evening, ma'am.
Greetings, Earthling.
Evening, ma'am.
From
my
the
name's Wolf.
vehicle.
Do you know why I've been pulled over today?
From the police vehicle.
Right. Okay.
Just something like, "How's it going? Evening. You know, good evening, Trooper Conflict."
come from?
Yeah, you know, good evening, Trooper Conflict, San Andreas State Police, blah, blah, blah.
Evening, Trooper Wolf, San Andreas Police Department. Do you know why I've been pulled over today?
No, no clue.
Well, you were on a stop sign about 50 yards that way. Can I get a license and registration, please? Some ID. Thank you. I'll be back in a second. Just gonna run this.
One tip, I wouldn't, don't necessarily say what you're doing, just, this isn't a major thing, this is just like a bit of advice. I wouldn't say what you're doing, just say, you know, I'll be right, you know, sit tight sir, I'll be right back with you. Don't say exactly what you're doing, because then he's gonna be like, oh shit, he's running my details.
10 for. So, Mr. Escobar, I'm going to be giving you a written warning today for running a stoplight. Don't do it again.
Says here on my clipboard, Mr. Escobar is a known dildo smuggler. Jesus Christ.
That's just fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. What the fuck?
Oh,
I did not mean to do that.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Thank you very much. You can be on your way now, sir.
Actually, let me, I mean, you're gonna do it again. Point is, you're gonna do it 1 or 2 more times anyway. Piece of advice: if you do something by accident, on the spot, try and come up with a reason for it. Just because it's generally gonna be.
Just checking the stability of your roof.
Yeah, you know, it's like, you know, it's, oh no, I didn't see it. Never mind. Thought I saw something. You know what I mean? Just like come up with something, because I've seen like, for example, say I'm standing really close to someone with a gun. Obviously, I might end up like whacking them with it. You might end up getting in shit for it if it's a civilian, but rather than just going, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry," like have a, you know, you've flipped your shit. You're angry. Someone's been doing dumb shit, and you've had enough of it all night. You know, so you've fucking snapped. You're like, fucking, that's, you know, that's enough. Everybody, get the fuck out. You know, whatever. But it just saves, rather than like the, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." Just like have reason for what you're doing, even if it is accidental. It's gonna just help to keep you as you. It's gonna keep you in the mindset of doing the job. It's gonna keep people aware that you are doing the job. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, from the cruiser again. Let's take it from the top.
So when I introduce myself, should I say trooper first name?
You're
or
not a
second?
trooper.
Well, yeah, but that's training, so that's what I'm saying.
No, you're training
cadet.
as an officer. So say officer, so you don't
officer, cadet,
accidentally
what?
say
Officer,
trooper
right.
on the actual streets.
Fair enough. Good evening, I'm Officer
And he
Wolf from
shot
the,
you,
San
and you're
Andreas
dead,
Police
and no one knows what the vehicle was.
Department. Oh, shit, yeah. Forgot about that one. Just, oop. Evening, I'm Officer Wolf, San Andreas Police Department. Do you know why you've been pulled over today?
No.
Well, you were on a stop sign about 50 yards that way. Can I get some license, ID, registration, please? Thank you very much. I'll be back with you in just a second. Sit tight.
That's better.
Okay, so at this time, I'm going to be giving you a written warning for running that stop sign. Please don't do it again. I'm going to hand you the warning now. 1 second.
Again, as just a general note, instead of doing the me hands thing, you can just sort of do that. So, you know, I'm going to hand, here's the warning. Just go ahead and sign the bottom of that. It's not an admission of guilt.
Right, hit.
It is just acknowledgement the
warning.
warning has been issued.
Just sign that first. Thank you very
There
much.
you go.
Here's your license, registration, and ID back, sir. Mr. Escobar, you now may be on your way. Thank you for your cooperation.
All right. Do you want to do one more, or do you want someone else to go for a bit?
I will do one more.
All right.
Good evening. I am Officer Wolf from the San Andreas Police Department. Do you know why you're being pulled over today?
Stop sign.
Yeah, about 50 yards that way. Can I get some ID, your license, and your registration, please? Right, I'll be back with you in 1 second. Just sit tight, sir.
Oh my.
Okay, so today I'm going to be issuing you a written warning, Mr. Escobar, for running a stop sign. Please don't do it again. Just sign this for me, please. And here's your ID, license, and registration back. Have a good day, sir. Drive safe.
All right, that was good. We'll get a few more of those in shortly. We're going to be escalating to different types of traffic stops in a little bit. Who wants to go next?
I can go.
Okay. Out in the driver's seat.
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'll just run through again. Let me just. All right. So just run through it one more time. I'll just do the interaction, the walk back, and then blah blah.
Okay.
How's it going? Trooper Conflict, San Andreas State Police. Reason for the stop is going to be failure to yield to a traffic control device. Specifically, stop sign back there in Vespucci Boulevard. Saw you blaze right through it there, sir. Can I see license, registration, proof of insurance, please? Thank you very much, Mr. Escobar. Alright, go ahead and sit tight. I'll be right back with you. Alright, sir. Here's your papers back. Everything's looking good to me. This time it's just going to be a quick verbal warning. Those traffic control devices are in place to keep you and others safe. Blasting right through them like that is just not going to be... It's not on, to be honest. If it happens again, you are going to be getting a fine. Multiple traffic violations could result in the loss of your license as well. So please drive safe, sir, and have a good night. All right. When you're ready.
Good evening, sir. My name is Officer Anderson with LSPD. Do you know why I stopped you today?
That stop sign back there?
Yeah, and you run a red light over there as well. Any particular reason for that?
Not really.
Alright. Can I see your license and registration, please? Thank you very much. Sit tight for me a little bit.
Just to remind everyone why Escobar's here, he is our developer. And basically, anytime we're doing police training, he's usually around to help.
Here's your license back, and your record is, it looks good, sir, so I'm just gonna give you a verbal warning, and don't do it again, please, and have a good night.
Alright, that was good. Let's go for one or two more.
Alright. Good evening, sir. My name is Officer Anderson. Do you understand
tell
why I
yourself.
pulled you over today?
No?
You failed to yield a traffic sign over there. Can I see some license and registration, please? Thank you. Thank you very much, and sit tight for me, please.
Are there going to be felony stops? Yes.
Alright, here's your license and registration back. I am gonna write your fine here for failure of yielding for a traffic sign.
Alright, okay.
There you go.
Do
Can you sign it for me, please? Sir. Alright, thank you very much. And thank you for your cooperation and have a good night.
In normal circumstances, a fine would be done through a command, just as an FYI.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I get where you're going with that. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, that's good. The one thing to take away from these is that, like, for one, I've been doing this shit for over a year at this point. So I've had over a year of bitching to people about failure to obey traffic signs and all that shit. So it does get easier with time and practice to sort of have that shit roll off the tongue. You know, like walking up to a car, you know, how's it going, search for conflict, San Andreas State Police, recent stop's going to failure to yield to a traffic signal back there for Butcher Boulevard. Specifically going to be a stop sign and a red light as well. Can I see license, registration, proof of insurance, please? You know, you'll end up saying it so much, along with the Miranda rights and along with a few other choice phrases as well, like "fuck your own face," that it becomes almost like its own little language.
Yeah.
But that is, I mean, the thing. That's all good. The thing to keep in mind for the most part is that there's only so much I can and will teach you here. A big part of it is going to be through the ride-alongs, the FTO time, and the probationary period as well. You know, it's going to take time, but that's fine. That's not an issue. You know, the longer it takes, the higher quality the officer eventually is the goal. So if you want to do one more, feel free. If not, then 53, you can take over.
53 can take over.
All right, Stone, you're up. Shooting range, not.
We're not doing the dispatch thing, are we?
No, let's assume you've called in dispatch. Dispatch knows where you are, what the vehicle is, blah blah blah.
Okay. Does it matter what side of the car you go?
No, but there is reason you would go to the other. So, I guess that's something we can explain real quickly. So, let's say, for example, you've just pulled him over on a highway. Walking up to this side of the vehicle.
I really want to be going this side.
Yeah, walking up this side of the vehicle on a highway would be dumb as shit. Walking up to this side of the vehicle on a little side road would be fine, but on a highway, you'll want to walk. Well, for one, on a highway, it's going to be completely different. So on a highway, you're actually going to walk behind your own vehicle.
Yeah.
And then up to the passenger side window of his. Can anyone tell me the reason that you are going to walk behind your vehicle?
Behind his vehicle? Or what? Wait, what?
No, when you step out of your vehicle, you on a highway, you walk down around behind yours and up to the passenger side window.
In case of traffic, I suppose?
Pretty much.
I was
so
assuming.
Let's say you walk to here so you walk between your
Okay,
vehicle
like
and his
punch up, yeah.
to touch the back of the vehicle. If a car comes along and smashes into yours, you're going to be fucking crushed. Admittedly, walking behind your vehicle, if a car hits it, you're still fucked, but a little bit less so, potentially. Also, on an actual highway stop, your vehicle would be angled a little more like this. Because then if a vehicle does go into the back of yours, your vehicle's going to go that way and not into the back of his vehicle. Admittedly, that's going to be off into traffic. But these guys, traffic that's oncoming is going to have a chance to stop and get out of the way, whereas it'll go straight into the back of his vehicle and potentially quickly kill him. So with that in mind,
I'll just go this side just for the sake.
yeah, for the sake of it, let's just go to that side.
Good evening, sir. Officer Stone with San Andreas Police.
It's PD.
Yeah, I know. I was like,
Back to the cruiser from the top.
As I said it, I... Stevens, Officer Stone, LSPD. Can I see some license, registration, proof of insurance, please? Alright, James Escobar, is that you?
Yep.
Alright, do you know why I'm pulling you over to?
Stop sign.
Yeah, obviously, go across a few stop signs back there, so I'll just pull you over just to make sure everything's okay. I'll be back with you 1 second. Just gonna go back in the cruiser.
Run! I'm distracting them. I know. Believe me, there are going to be plenty more distractions in the actual server.
I'm fine. I do that shit all the time.
So everything looks alright. Just gonna let you off for a warning today. I'm gonna remind you that you do need to take care when you are driving, just for your safety and the others driving around you, for their safety as well. Just next time you go into a stop sign, just make sure you slow down, make sure you're aware of your surroundings. I am just gonna give you this warning. If you could just sign that for us. To acknowledge that you've I've pulled you over today and we've had this talk. Alright. There's your copy. I'm going to take mine. Just once again make sure that you be safe while you're driving, okay?
Alright.
Thanks very much.
Alright, that was good. Let's go for another.
You alright?
Yep.
Evening, sir.
Let's
Officer
loot the
Stone,
crowd.
LSPD. Do you know where I'm pulling you over
I
today?
like them out.
Not really.
Alright,
It's
just
a
sorry
nice
that you
crowd.
ran that right. Well, if you didn't run the right. You went past the stop sign. You didn't slow down to make sure that the surroundings were okay. There's no oncoming traffic or anything. Can I just see some ID, registration, and proof of insurance, please? Alright, James Escobar, yep. I'll just be with you in 1 sec. Move, bitch. Alright, everything looks fine there, bud. I'm just going to give you a warning. It's not going to be a fine today. I'm just going to remind you, just be careful when you're driving, just for your safety and others. Just if you can sign this piece of paper, just to acknowledge that we've had this conversation and you've understood what I've said here. Alright, thanks. There's your copy back, and I'll take mine. Once it's safe to do so, you can pull back out into the traffic. Have a nice day. Fuck. Alright, there's one thing I didn't do. I didn't give him his ID back.
I wouldn't stress too much about that. Generally, it's something that will be implied, but
Yeah.
a big part of what I'm aiming for with the academy and just with policing in general is authenticity and attention to detail. So things like handing back the ID, things like typing in the MDT, things like taking your time with stops, which admittedly with this kind of stop there's not a lot of time to it anyway, but taking your time with it just it builds this sense of, you know, you know what you're doing. If you don't know, you know what you're doing, you know your job, you know how this works. It puts you in a situation where you have control over it. But that was good. That was good on all kinds. It is just going to be a case of of practicing. Again, it is going to be a case that you are going to have to spend the time both in training, FTO time, and even beyond training, just honing your skills, and eventually it'll not be an issue. It is unfortunately one of those things that I don't think can be mastered in the academy, but can certainly be practiced a hell of a lot. So, I mean, that's your most basic traffic stop done. The next would be a felony traffic stop, which generally speaking, you're going to want 2 officers for. So in this kind of situation, what we'll do is, Harris, if you want to drive this and have one of the cadets jump in with you, I'll drive another one and the other cadet gets in with me. So this one is going to require some radio communication. What we'll do here is assume you have, you've pulled him over. We'll ignore the idea of calling it in before pulling him over, just for the sake of focusing on the felony stop itself. So you've just pulled him over. I need you to radio into dispatch saying the name, you know, the vehicle, all that kind of stuff, and wait for dispatch to respond. So I'll pull back here. Then. All right, when you're ready.
Dispatch, this is N58. Show me involved in a 10. Oh, fuck. Hang on. Sorry.
It's all good. You can just say traffic.
Dispatch is N58. Show me involved in traffic. Pulled over a black and colored Dominator. Plate's going to be 05 ESV 601.
74 out of 58. Be advised, plate 05 ESV 651 comes back as flag 1099. It's going to be escalated to a felony stop. Stand by for additional. David 1's going to be 76. Dispatch David 1 should be 1023. Who can tell me why I've parked my vehicle like this?
I don't know. I thought you were going front.
Nope.
Puts it in a very awkward position for him to turn the hell around and shoot you.
Yep. And also because when you step out of your vehicle, you have that additional little bit of cover from my vehicle. And also if my secondary officer steps out, he has cover as well. So in this situation, this is a felony stop, which requires a second unit. If there isn't a second unit available, obviously there isn't a second unit available. But in this situation, there was. So, Harris, you generally you would take lead on this. In this situation, I'll take lead. And the cadets, you two just...
Because I have no fucking idea what to do.
Yeah.
Question?
Yep.
So the officer pulling this man over is the first unit, right?
Yes.
Alright, 10-4.
Generally speaking, the first unit, being the one that pulled him over, would take lead, but in this situation, I will take lead on felony. So Harris, when you step out of the vehicle, do you have weapons on you right now?
No.
I do.
Can someone give him just a combat pistol?
I'm on it.
I can give him.
I should give him a taser as well.
And a taser.
Yeah, taser.
Alright, there you go.
Thank you.
Okay, so in this, you're going to be using your taser. I'll be using lethal. So in this case, basically over the radio, it would be a case of letting you know that you go non-lethal, I'll go lethal, and then when I step out of the vehicle, you step out. Try and leave the door open. It's not always going to stay open, but if you can, leave the door open. All right, let's go. I'll take lead.
Yeah.
All right, you'd aim at his vehicle with the taser. And then make sure your voice range is on shout. And in this situation, again, you take lead, but I'll take example. Driver of the vehicle, turn the engine off, take the keys out of the ignition, and with your right hand, throw them out of the driver's side window. Once again, with your right hand, reach out of the driver's side window, open the door, step out slowly with your hands raised above your head, facing away from me. Now looking through your eyes, back up to the sound of my voice slowly until I say stop. Stop. All right, sir, at this time, you are under arrest for suspected grand theft auto and possession of a stolen vehicle. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you by the state if available. Do you understand these rights?
Yeah.
Anything in your person you want to make me aware of? Anything that's going to poke me, prod me, stab me, or otherwise harm me?
Pistol and a taser.
All right, sir. At this time, those are going to be forfeit. I'm going to be asking you a few questions momentarily. If all goes your way, you'll be getting those back. Mind your head. Yeah, you're in the vehicle. All right, Harris on me. We got to clear this vehicle. Anyone else in the vehicle? Sound off. Make yourselves known. The vehicle's going to be clear. Go ahead and check the trunk.
Can't seem to get it open. Can you pop it open from there?
Yeah.
Looks clear.
Alright, affirm. Okay, so felony stops are a little tricky. Because obviously there's a lot to deal with. In this situation, the reason he was arrested as such is because the vehicle was coming back as stolen, which is why I said under arrest for suspicion of grand theft auto and possession of a stolen vehicle. The suspicion covers us in case he did not steal it or we can't prove that he stole it, but possession of a stolen vehicle is still a felony. And with him in the driver's seat, he is in possession of a stolen vehicle. So in that situation, basically our goal is to make sure he's not going anywhere, get him secured. I can't put him in the vehicle for whatever reason, so we'll just assume I did. And as soon as he's secure, we then check the vehicle. Obviously, if we can clearly see an additional person in the vehicle, they will be dealt with as well. And can anyone tell me what we do with them? And say there was a passenger in the vehicle. What do we do with the passenger?
Don't we detain them as well?
Yes. The difference is passengers are not under arrest.
No.
The passengers are being detained for their safety and our safety, and pending questioning, they will be read the Miranda rights as well, but the charges of possession do not apply to the passengers. But again, it's a case of crowd control, it's a case of having control of the situation, so any passengers would also be detained. They wouldn't be put in the vehicle, they would pretty much be told, you know, go stand over there, go sit over there, grab a piece of wall, make yourself comfortable. But that was decent. Basically, that's a felony stop. The biggest part of it is with running plates and stuff like that. That is a thing we can do. I don't know exactly what way it's working right now, but I believe /plate followed by the plate number. If it comes back as nothing, then it belongs to Adamada. If it comes back, I don't know if it comes back with names currently, but if it comes back with Steam ID or names, it is a player-owned vehicle. So that's pretty much that's it. That's pretty much a felony stop. Again, the reason there would have been the vehicle. There are other reasons for felony stops. For example, say the vehicle came back to Jamez Escobar. If he has warrants on him, then there you go, felony stop. Jamez Escobar's wanted. This is his vehicle. Chances are it's him driving it. If it's not him driving it, then we ID the driver and say, you know, why are you driving his vehicle? Where is he? What's going on here? Basically, there's that whole line of questioning. But I think what we'll do is, Harris, will let you lead on a felony stop. Let me get him out of his bracelets. There you go. What if he shoots? We deal with that later. So in this situation, it is going to be... You're just going to be fairly compliant, James. We'll get to other stuff later. Shine B68, 66, thank you very much for the prime.
Alright, how far back are we starting this one?
We'll radio it in. This time we'll say that it's the vehicle's coming back to him, and that there are warrants out for his arrest, in relation to fleeing and looting. So, radio it in.
Dispatch, this is Adam 58. Show me involved in a 1038 with black and colored Dominator. Plate's going to be 05ESV601.
Adam 58 dispatch direct. Be advised that plate 05ESV601 is registered to a Jamez Escobar, who at this time has warrants out for his arrest in relation to recent fleeing and looting. Going to be escalating that to a felony traffic stop, rolling additionals. David Warren's responding. Dispatch, David 1's going to be 23. When you're ready.
David 1, Adam 58, direct.
Set up.
You good to roll lethal on this one? I'm out of ammo. Driver of the vehicle, please turn off the engine and with your right hand throw the keys out the driver's side window. Alright, again with your right hand. Reach out of the window, open the door, and face away from me with your hands where I can see them. Alright. Now, looking through your eyes using your V muscle, you're going to want to move back towards the sound of my voice slowly until I say stop. Stop.
I'll check the vehicle. Anyone else in the vehicle, signed off and make yourself known. Anyone else in the vehicle, signed off, make yourself known. The vehicle's going to be code 4.
Alright. At this time, you are under arrest, under suspicion of fleeing and eluding. Do you have anything on your person that you want to let me know about before I put you in a vehicle?
Sweet Jesus.
Pistol and a taser.
Alright, I'm going to be taking those off you for the time being. If all this is cleared up easily, you'll be getting those back. Alright, mind your head. And fucking naturally, I can't put him in there either.
Get it working either. That's good. We'll just assume he's in the vehicle. Now, this vehicle's going to be code 4. At this time, there's a warrant out for him. So basically, in that kind of situation, it's not going to be suspicion of, because the warrant exists for his arrest already. So it's going to be, you're under arrest for fleeing and looting. You know, then Miranda rights, and then taking the mission out essentially. But that was good. That'll be the only thing to change. You know, it's you're under arrest for this. It's not suspicion because again we got the warrant out. The one thing I did,
to be honest, that was mostly me just stalling to remember what the hell it was for.
That's all good. Again, it comes with time. The one thing I did different was while you were processing him, I checked the vehicle. That is a thing that can be done in smaller vehicles, especially like, you know, rolling up, having one unit deal with a guy, have the other clear the vehicle. That's fine to do. Because, you know, obviously it gets things done a bit quicker. We don't have to wait for you to finish processing. And that is generally the way I would encourage things to be done, is one deals with the guy, one deals with the car. It means that you're not awkwardly standing around, you know, fucking putting the sandwich in the back of the car and then moving on to the other vehicle. But that was good. I think we'll do that one more time.
All right.
This time... oh, how do we phrase this? I'm trying to think of a way to slightly escalate it without him just straight up fucking shooting. You know what? We'll just do the same
Recent
thing.
robbery?
There's a warrant out for his arrest again for armed robbery. Suspicion of armed robbery. Rivera 281 with the $40. Jesus, man. Says, I see you have more cadets. Yep. Make him a passenger. That's not a bad idea, actually. Actually, change of plan. Adam 53, can you be the passenger in... Wait, you're with me. Fuck. Hold on. You're his passenger. Go.
Jesus.
What the fuck was that noise? Alright, let's go.
Dispatch, this is Adam 58. Show me involved in active 1038 with a black and colored Dominator. Plate's going to be 05 Edward Sam Victor 601. It's going to be Great Ocean Highway eastbound.
Adam 58 dispatch direct. We advise that plate's coming back to one Hamaz Escobar, who currently has a warrant out for his arrest in relation to a recent armed robbery in Paleto Bay. Stand by for additional units. This is going to be a felony stop. David 1's going to be 76. Dispatch David 1 should be 1023 at that 1038.
David 1, Adam 58 direct.
Send it.
I'm going to need you to go lethal on this one. I do not have ammo.
A-firm. Looks like we got 2 people in that vehicle, so I'll deal with the driver, you deal with the passenger.
10-4. Driver of the vehicle, please shut the engine off and throw the keys out the driver's side window with your right hand. Alright. Again, with your right hand, reach out through the driver's side window, open the door, exit the vehicle. And keep your hands where I can see them.
Get him to back up to me.
Alright. Alright, you gonna send off then?
No, just basically you direct him towards me, and then you, while I cuff him, you focus on the passenger. Keep in mind, passenger's not under arrest, but does need detained.
10-4. All right. Driver of the vehicle, please take 2 steps to the left and then head backwards until I say stop. Stop.
All right, let's take a walk.
All right, I'm going to clear the vehicle. Passenger of the vehicle, please step out of the vehicle and keep your hands where I can see them.
Light your head.
All right. Now you're going to do the same thing. Keep your hands where I can see them and walk back towards the sound of my voice until I say stop. And stop.
All right, I'm going to check for
That's
additionals in
okay.
the vehicle. Anyone else in there? Signed off. Make yourselves known. Dispatch table 1. Vehicle's going to be code 4. All right, so
Didn't find anything?
no, vehicle's going to be code 4. Keep in mind, passenger of the vehicle is not under arrest, is simply being detained, so you can put him in cuffs and pretty much fuck him off to the side of the road. Tell him to sit there. Driver is the one that would be getting detained. And depending on circumstance, you will know whether or not it is the person. In the case of Escobar, not necessarily every officer is going to know him. I wouldn't... I would keep in mind that what happens during training does not necessarily apply in the real thing. So you might, obviously we're training with arresting him. That doesn't necessarily apply to knowing him in the real thing, if you get me. So you may pull over Jamez Escobar, but you may not know what he looks like. In my case, I know what he looks like. So if I see that face and I know he's got a warrant, I can be confident that is him. So that's why in my case, I wouldn't necessarily pull his ID. If you don't know for sure that's him, you get him out of the vehicle, you put him in cuffs, and then you grab his ID, just to verify that is in fact the person you're looking for. So given this situation, again, there was a warrant out for him. I knew it was him. He's in the vehicle. He hasn't been Mirandized yet. We don't need to do that necessarily on the scene. But it's recommended that you do, just because in the drive back to Mission Row, if he starts shit-talking, it's entirely possible you might forget to Mirandize him, or he might very well decide that he's going to spew everything and confess all in one go, and it can be difficult to actually get to a point where you can use that information because he hadn't been read his rights. So it can be a little tricky. So generally you want to get the Mirandas done right then and there, as soon as the situation is clear to do so. So that is going to be as soon as the vehicle is actually code 4. So, let's have the other 2 cadets take primary and secondary. We'll have Stone, you take primary. Anderson, you can take secondary. You'll be the responding unit, basically. So your job is basically, in this case, I think responding unit will take lethal. You pull in the way I pulled in there. And
Okay.
the first few runs will only have 1 person in the vehicle, so you are just there to basically clear the vehicle and kind of do what I was doing towards the end there.
Alright.
Stone, it's going to be up to you to basically take lead and do what Harris was doing for the most part there. We should probably get Jamez out of here. Sitting there like the most miserable sausage sandwich I'd ever seen. Oh, shit. There you go. So, yeah, we'll operate under the assumption again that, you've just pulled him over. You're going to radio it in. I'll act as dispatch. And then... So, in this case, yeah, I'll act as dispatch, and I will, dispatch Adam 61 to this 1038 once it's been cleared. So if you want to go ahead and pull back a little bit.
Yep.
And go ahead and radio it.
Right, so it's hey you, it's me. Show me out 10:38. Yeah. And then the description of the car.
Dispatch Adam 53. Gonna be on a 1038 with black and colored Dominator. Plate's gonna be 05 blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And the 20 as well.
Dispatch, Adam 23, show me 1038 with a black and coloured Dominator. Plate is 05ESV 601. 20 is Great Ocean Highway heading eastbound.
Send for Adam 53. Be advised, plate 05 Edward Sam Victor 601 is registered to a James Escobar, who at this time is going to have a warrant for his arrest in relation to a recent armed robbery. Stop's going to be elevated to a felony stop. Dispatch Adam 61 direct. Can you go ahead and 76 to Adam 53's West 20? It's going to be westbound Zancudo Approach Road.
10-4-6. Adam 61 responding. Adam 61 is 23.
Pull forward a little bit.
Adam 53 to Adam 61, direct.
Said it.
Do you want to go lethal on this one?
10-4.
Back in the cars.
Oh.
You need to be slightly further forward. Basically, the front right of your car in line with the front left of his. So it creates a nice kind of V there. That's perfect.
Like that?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Alright, 10-4.
Again, that'll come with time. Oh jeez, I'm walking like I've got a fucking pole up my ass. That'll come with time. Continue. Start from the radio traffic about who takes lethal.
Adam 53, Adam 61, direct.
Send it.
Do you want to go lethal?
10-4.
Alright, let's go.
Driver of the vehicle, throw the keys out of the window. That one. Start again.
Start again. You want me to give you an example?
Window. What?
Need an example?
Yeah.
Alright. I prick!
Wow.
I was about to
You're
ask
such
him if he's okay, if he's injured or anything, to be honest.
He's fine.
What I'm used to. Right.
Driver of the vehicle, turn the engine off, take the keys out of the ignition, and with your right hand, throw them out of the driver's side window. Again, with your right hand, reach out of the driver's side window, open the door, and step out slowly with your hands above your head facing away from me. Looking through your eyes back up to the sound of my voice slowly. Continue to do so until I say stop. And stop. And basically, you go from there. The usual arrest shit. Continue. Thank you. As in, yeah. As in, take it from the top. Basically, take it from the who takes lethal radio traffic.
Alright.
Adam 53, Adam 61, direct.
Send it.
You take lethal.
Yes, 10-4.
Driver of the vehicle, turn the engine off and throw the keys out of the window. Alright, step out slowly and keep your hands up. Alright, looking through your eyes, walk back to the sound of my voice until I say stop.
Oh, you're fucked, buddy.
Stop. Would I like read him his Mirandas now?
No, you would cuff him, drag him, put him in the vehicle, then Miranda. Well, cuff him, drag him, put him in the vehicle, then clear their vehicle. You can say what he's under arrest for, which in this case was suspicion of armed robbery.
Alright.
So as you're cuffing him,
You're under.
yeah. As you're
Yeah,
cuffing him,
yeah.
sir, you're under arrest for suspicion of armed robbery. I would probably Mirandize him there. Keep in mind what you can do is
Just 'cause I
second.
don't know the Mirandas, to be honest.
Yeah, you'll get them with time.
What?
Keep in mind, so as he's doing that, secondary unit can push forward and start to clear the vehicle.
Alright.
Should we do it back from where I caught him?
Do it
Anybody in the
from-
vehicle? Make yourself known. Make yourself known. Vehicle is careful.
Yeah, that works.
We'll do that again.
Yeah, do it from the... take it from the top. Let's say that you've both agreed on who
Out of uni?
is... You've already agreed on who's lethal and who's not. Let's go from the second you step out of the vehicle.
Alright.
Don't you always say suspicion even if you saw it? Nah, if I see someone do some dumb shit, they're under arrest for it.
Alright,
Driver of the vehicle, turn the engine off and throw the keys out the window. Alright, slowly step out of the vehicle, raise your hands, and... Alright. Stop doing dumb shit.
Look, people in the real thing are going to do more dumb shit than I'm doing.
Alright,
dancing.
looking through your eyes, walk back to the sound of my voice until I say stop. Stop. Alright, you're under arrest for suspicion of armed robbery.
Secondary.
I would read you my Mirandas, but I don't know them. So,
Secondary.
and you Pete read them.
Gonna clear their vehicle. Anybody in the vehicle? Make yourself known. Make yourself known, or I will.
So in this
Alright, do you have anything on your
situations,
person that would poke me, harm me,
What?
put me in any danger?
that's one thing actually. Make sure to always take lethal or any kind of suspicious items off of someone before you put them in a vehicle. That's a good point. In terms of signing off, it'd be 3 warnings. On the 3rd warning, you can warn them that they will be met with lethal force if they don't sign off. So,
Alright.
anyone in the vehicle signed off, make yourself known. Second chance, anyone in the vehicle signed off, make yourself known. Final warning, if there's anyone in the vehicle, make yourselves known or you'll be met with lethal force. So that 3rd one's where you kind of say that, you mean fucking business. This next one, I'm going to be the person on the felony stop. And you are, the stop is for attempted murder of a police officer. So Harris... I guess actually technically you need to take lead at some point. We'll let you take lead in the next one. I want to see how you all
I don't
handle
have
this
any taser, so I can't really.
one. We can get you one. But on this one, Harris, I'll let you take lead. And then the other 2 you can be the responding unit.
Wait.
So basically you 2 are the ones that come in when dispatch says it's a felony stop.
No, okay. Nope. So wait, am I? Oh.
Your
take it.
passenger seat of Aaron's car.
No.
What am I doing?
You're the responding unit. So Harris has pulled me over.
Okay.
When you're ready.
Dispatch, this is Adam 58. Show me involved in a 1038 with a black and colored Dominator. Plate's going to be 05 Edward Sam Victor 601. 20 is going to be Great Ocean Highway eastbound.
10-4 and 58. Be advised, plate 05 Edward Sam Victor 601 comes back registered to one Mickey McGill, who has warrants out for his arrest in relation to attempted homicide on a peace officer. Be advised, this is going to be a felony stop. Dispatch Adam 53 direct.
Stand up.
U76 to Adam 58's last 20. It's going to be westbound Great Ocean Highway. It's on Kudu Approach Road.
10-4 en route.
Adam 58 to Adam 53 direct.
Stand up.
I'll go lethal on this one. You pull out a taser.
10-4.
Be advised, all units, so even passenger, I want everyone on this one.
10-4.
So basically, generally there's only going to be one lethal, so everyone else go none.
I don't.
Okay, go lethal then.
You should have a stun gun.
Driver of the vehicle, shut the car off, and with your right hand, throw the keys out the fucking window
The
now.
fuck is this? What did I do?
You just get out of the car. Throw the
Ah,
vehicle's
man, what did I do?
attempted murder of a police officer. Throw
Attempted
the keys
murder?
out
I don't
the window.
fucking think
and-
so.
Good luck getting away
Yeah,
with
he's still
no
alive.
Yeah, no, I would, the only change I would make to that is someone needs to let dispatch know that I've just tried to fucking murder you. But other than that, the, taking out the vehicle was fairly effective. Also, I fucking swear I got a couple of you in the head and you didn't die, so I think the trainer is going nuts right now.
I swear I shot you in the head as well.
Yeah, I don't think I can die. But you did take the vehicle out. So credit on that. Yeah, I can't die.
Wait, what is happening?
Well, we found the reason
Oh,
he
you can
survived.
die.
Well, that fucking works.
Wow. What a twist.
Well, that was sudden.
Yeah.
Kill the one guy that can't revive himself.
Yeah, someone pick him up. Or let him perma.
So what have you say to dispatch?
Shots fired. So as soon as I fire, as soon as I shoot, someone needs to get on the radio and say,
Dispatch, shots fired.
Yeah, bit fucking late. But as soon as that happens, just not even dispatch, just shots fired. Like, they'll know what it is.
Not location, not anything.
No,
like
because
that, or
you've given the location information.
Yeah,
and at
they
this
have
point,
the location.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
at this point, they're sitting there like anxiously hoping this works out. This guy, you know, the person being pulled over has attempted to kill cops, so they're gonna be on edge.
Oh god. Yeah. Okay.
So, like, what's
While
the
we're
deal?
doing
Like, as you
questions,
start shooting
should
at
I
us, I've
actually-
got a fucking-
One at a time.
While we're doing questions, should I actually let them know what they're being arrested for before they're out of the vehicle and in our possession?
Probably not, because the thing is, like, it could be the case, like so from my POV, I don't necessarily, you know, I would suspect, oh fuck, you know, they've got me in the attempted murder, but it could be a mistake. It could be something unrelated, and it could be something that if I comply, I can get away with. But if you say you're a cop killer, that's the point where I'm gonna go, well, I'm not getting out of this. I might as well fight.
Fair play.
So there's always
Your turn.
that little hope. But yeah, I'm not gonna be I just basically the point of that one was just sort of anything can fucking happen, and that like he's complying because this is basic training. When it comes to actual shit, and when it comes to being a little bit later down the line, there's a little like switch in the back of his head. You just flick it, and he turns into a shitlord. That switch is gonna get flicked later, and he's gonna fucking. It's gonna be fun for me.
Shit.
Well, that's just an overreaction. That's just yep.
Are you pissed off at the trooper, huh?
That's just.
I'm terribly sorry. I saw something on your face.
Yeah.
Oh, you saw his face.
Where's the bee?
Go ahead and turn around just real quick.
Ah, fuck.
Oh shit. I have a bad omen. Goddamn.
Shitlord mode activated. All right. Let's.
Can he die?
Let's assume that you've already called everything in. James Escobar is wanted on attempted murder of an LEO. Everyone's decided who's going lethal and who isn't. So let's see what happens after I do that.
So yeah, you've only got a taser, don't you?
No, I have a gun as well.
Oh, okay.
But
Alright.
I mean, I can go taser if you guys want to go lethal.
See, tease.
I mean, I'll go lethal.
I don't know.
Okay.
Thank you for the 5. Says enjoy the
Was it
sound.
too lethal?
Thank you very much.
Is that allowed?
And yeah,
What's
is
on
it
non-lethal?
because it's supposed to be only one lethal, everyone else is non-lethal, right? Or is it the other way
I
around?
would say base it on why he's being stopped. In this case,
Because
he's
this situation,
in this case he's tried
I mean-
to murder a cop already. He might try again. So,
So,
even in this situation, honestly, I wouldn't have a problem with everyone lethal, given the
Okay.
circumstance. I don't think anyone would say that was an
yeah,
overreaction.
I'd justify that.
So given the situation, basically, it all depends on what.
Yeah, basically, like, based on the severity of the stop. Like, if this was just a stolen vehicle, I would say one lethal, everyone else non. But given that this is a stop because the vehicle is registered to him and there's a warrant out for his arrest in relation to trying to kill a cop, I would say it's fine to go everyone lethal.
Start.
Alright, one more. If they aren't getting out of the vehicle,
Yep.
hell do we do?
Just stick it out, basically. Just insist. Essentially, you kind of already know it's him. You know it's his vehicle. You know the vehicle. You know where it is. You know where it can go, really. So the ball is in his court to either get out or try and run away. And based on what he does, you respond.
Alright.
So keep in mind, everyone's selected lethal already. Like, you've done all that. This is the step out of the vehicle and dress him part.
Driver of the vehicle, throw the keys out of the driver's side window with your right hand.
Why?
No can do. Do it. Keys out the window, right hand.
You give me a reason. I mean, you're pointing guns at me.
You are under arrest at this time. Please throw the keys out the driver's side window with your right hand.
Jesus!
Shots fired.
I mean, credit where it's due. Hell of a fucking shot.
Well, it does help to aim at his head.
Yeah, no credit where it's due. That was a good shot. Yeah, I would say that was.
Did not expect that.
I didn't expect that. Because I won't pick him up. I would say that was.
There we go.
I would say that was
I got you.
fair. I would say, given his previous, and given that he was backing up straight into your cruiser, I would maybe try and say roll out of the way, because if you're aiming and you move to the side and hit space, you'll roll. So potentially dodging it is going to be better, because here's the thing. Generally, the rules of engagement are going to be do not fire unless fired upon, or otherwise directly threatened, and that can be tricky to fight in court, because in court it could be, well, you know, if there's a damn good fucking lawyer on his side, that lawyer could argue that you shooting at him was unnecessary, because he hadn't shot you and because you could have got out of the way. With that said, like, I'm not gonna say that you did anything wrong. I'm just sort of pointing out that people might argue that. You might see that either in body cam chats or from when dealing with the person or dealing with their lawyer or whatever. Generally speaking, to be fair, if a lawyer argues that that wasn't an attempt at murder, I'd be really surprised if they keep their license, but
Would be a difficult fight, but the fight's still
the
there.
fight could still be there. But I would say, honestly, from my point of view, I would have done exactly the same thing, so I'm not going to say that was wrong. In fact, if anything, again, that was a hell of a fucking shot. So get the vehicle fixed up. Let's do it again.
Fuck, it went a ways.
Yeah.
Way back. So same procedure? Whoa.
Yep.
Alright.
Can you guys still hear me? 1080. 1080.
Driver of the vehicle, turn off the engine, throw the keys out the driver's side window with your right hand.
What are you gonna do if I don't?
Well, you are under arrest at this time, so throw the keys out the driver's side window now.
Don't wanna.
That's not how this works. Do it.
What are you gonna do if I don't?
Well, if you don't, you will not be seen as compliant, and we will not be able to do a damn thing to help you in the court of law.
Sorry.
Careful. One note, failure to obey a lawful order is also felony, I believe, or at least it's a misdemeanor, so that can be added on to charges.
Actually, yes, it is. That is actually on the list.
It is a lawful order that you are issuing to get out of the fucking car. Also, the LSPD chief's in my chat at the moment and pointed out, try not to aim for headshots. Obviously, in this kind of situation, it's really hard to not get him in the head. But your goal is to stop the threat, not necessarily kill it. But, yeah, again, in this situation, good luck not getting him in the head. That's the only thing you can see.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm stuck with at the moment. All I see is the back of his head. I could go for tires, but he'll still run away.
Well, anyway, continue.
So what are you gonna do?
Well, you're gonna get an extra fucking charge thrown on your list. So there's that. That's fine, is it? Well, how many times are you gonna disobey this fucking order? Throw the keys out of the fucking car. Get out of the car. Alright, at what point, if any, do we proceed forward and try to clear him out forcefully?
I wouldn't proceed forward with every unit. I would say the responding unit would push forward and attempt to get him out of the car. So the passenger of the responding unit's going to go around the back of the second cruiser first. And then the driver of the responding unit's going to push forward as passenger does that. That's you, Aaron. So you're going to start pushing forward. So right. As she comes around the back, you're going to start pushing forward like this. She's going to be on your left. You're going to sort of keep an eye on the cruiser on the back like this. Keep basically aimed at his head as she approaches.
Aren't I crossing fire then?
What?
Aren't I crossing fire then? If I go over to the right side of his car?
If I go to the left, we won't
You
cross
don't
fire.
go exactly the right. You go
No,
to
but I'm crossing fire with Harris.
No.
So I'm stepping in front of his gun.
That's a fair point, I suppose. Try and stay.
Yeah.
I guess you both sort of push to the left then. I guess if you're here, you can get a shot in his head as she pushes further left.
So basically as left as we can then, basically.
Essentially.
I mean, would one person not go around this way?
Alright, yeah, alright. Whatever
That
you
was
think
what
works.
I mean,
Whatever you think works. I'm curious to see. I'm actually more curious to see what you guys want to do with it.
alright, Ed.
Been a long time since I've had to do a proper traffic stop. Like
All right,
this.
let's give this a shot. Driver of the vehicle, last warning.
Nope. There were police shots went off before he shot.
He shot me.
I could swear I heard a pistol go off before I heard him a submachine gun. I think I might be wrong.
I shot after he shot me, but I don't know.
Okay, it might have just been something on my end.
It all happened pretty quickly.
Yeah, it might have been something on my end. It sounded like a pistol went off first to me. Admittedly, if you saw the gun go up, then meh.
I mean,
It
I saw a gun up, but yeah.
it definitely sounded like an officer may have shot first there, but we'll not worry too much about it. What I would say is change the procedure a little bit. So, primary unit stays put. Primary unit stays here. Secondary unit, driver, pushes left. Secondary unit, passenger. Now keep in mind, you're not always going to have a passenger in the secondary. In fact, you're rarely ever going to have that because everyone's going to have their own unit. So secondary driver pushes forward. If there's a secondary passenger, you come around the back of the primary and come up the passenger side. This way, no one's crossing fire. And it also means if he sets off primary, you're in a position to get in your cruiser and get the fuck after him. And once that cruiser's gone, you'll notice he's out of the way. You are clear to run to the passenger side door of your vehicle and get in and get after them. So let's try that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good plan.
And then we'll actually take it on a quick 10-8 and see what happens. Jira coming in with that tier 1 4 months. Thank you very much. Bud says, when are you going to play City Skylines? I don't know, man. I don't know if is that a new game?
Don't forget the radio then. I always forget that now. God damn it.
Yeah, if there's shots, radio in the shots.
Yeah, I keep forgetting to. Alright, where are we starting this?
You've all just stepped out of
Right
your
here, I guess.
car.
Driver of the vehicle, turn off the vehicle and throw the keys out the driver's side window with your right hand.
No.
No. Alright, well that's not exactly how this works. So go ahead and give that another shot. This will be your second warning. Throw the driver keys out the driver's side window with your right hand.
Third warning is when you move up.
Third and final warning. Shut the fucking car off. Throw the fucking keys out the driver's side window. And use your right hand, keeping everything where we can see it while you do so.
Or what?
Right, move it.
Alright, let's do it this way. Move up.
Go, 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 go.
1080, 1080, 1080.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
Go. Get after him.
Dispatch is in Adam 58. Show me involved in an active 1080 with that vehicle.
10-4, Adam 58, showing involved in active 1080, going to be a black and color Dominator.
Vehicle's just done a U-turn. It's now heading westbound on the Fort Zancudo approach road.
Adam 61 is out of the vehicle.
Shots fired.
With me.
Suspect now traveling eastbound Great Ocean Highway.
Fort Zancudo, we're at the air. No, it's Fort Zancudo.
Suspect doing another U-turn, now heading westbound Fort Zancudo approach road.
I'm alright.
Just done another one, now heading westbound.
Fuck, I didn't hit the missile.
Now westbound again.
Wasn't mate. Alright, let's take it. Is the road names thing working?
Yeah, that's what we'll be using.
I don't see it.
Direction doesn't seem consistent.
I don't see it right now. Is it because we're just in like a weird location that's doing that thing it does?
I think it is.
Because I was
It's
thinking...
above the health bar for me.
I don't see it at all.
It moves if you get in a vehicle. Hop in here.
No, like it's just straight up not there. It might be because it's doing that thing it
that's
does on
interesting.
West Eclipse. The point is, I think it might be worth taking it down onto actual roads so that you can get the actual road names in and all that kind of stuff. So, I'll bring everyone to me in just a second once I get down on the Great Ocean. Ow.
Officer down 1030. Oh my god.
There we go. That's how we do things. Just go to here real quick so I can bring everybody.
Jesus!
Ow!
What the?
Oh, sorry.
Oh. Well. That's awkward.
You couldn't have done that on the side of the road.
Nope. Alright, there's your vehicle, I suppose. Actually, this one.
What on earth? Oh, crap.
Hop in.
Who's doing the responding?
We're
Or
gonna
we're just doing 1080.
We'll do a 1080. Let's you know, break the mold a little bit. Go for 1080.
Harris can have this one. Or does he can't spawn stuff in?
Oh, okay.
Jeez. Seatbelt.
Overlight.
So yeah, everyone's got their seatbelts on. I'm not gonna have to scrape anyone off the fucking sidewalk.
No promises. All right.
Ah, shit.
So, I still don't see straight names for whatever reason. As long as you guys do, that's fine. So yeah, whenever. Let's go. Remember to use radio.
Dispatch, this is Adam 58. Show me involved in an active 1080 with a yellow in color Tornado 2. Speeds in excess of 80 miles an hour. Plate's going to be 85 Sam X-Ray Young 770. Currently southbound Route 68.
Are we losing? Fuck. Did one of them just go off road?
Adam 53, 1050.
Reset. Lead us down.
This thing handles like shit.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a 1050 there. Fuck.
That too.
Oh my god.
Alright, fix them
You
up.
had airtime.
Let's go.
Oh. Radio. Wait, what?
I'm not hearing no radio chatter.
Dispatch, this is Adam 58. Show me involved in an active 1080 with a yellow in color Tornado 2. Plate's going to be 85 Sam X-Ray Young 770. Speeds in excess of 110 miles an hour. Clear conditions. Nice sunny day.
I'm sorry, I can't see the street
So,
names. I
Do
don't
I,
know why.
do I do the callouts?
The primary unit would do the initial call out, and then you would radio in saying, "Dispatch Adam 53, I've got secondary taking call outs."
I can't see the street names.
That's fine.
Dispatch Adam 53, taking secondary callouts. Currently heading westbound on Del Porro Freeway. Taking a left exit on Equity Correction, Mulligan Avenue.
Dispatch is Adam 58, just 1050.
Taking a left, Mulligan Avenue. Wow. Going north, Big City Avenue. Taking a right, San Andreas Avenue. Vehicle 1050. Vehicle's
Adam
continuing.
58. Adam 53, this is Adam 58 direct.
Stand up.
Can I get an update on your last 20?
Westbound San Andreas Avenue. Still continuing San Andreas.
So something you can say is the road, like crossing over this road or crossing over that road.
It doesn't always show that though.
I know, but if you get the info.
It literally pops up so briefly, the road that you're crossing over. Still continuing San Andreas Ave. Taking a left onto Strawberry Avenue. Heading past Pillbox. Making a U-turn. Heading back towards San Andreas Avenue. Still Strawberry. Hadn't shots fired. Fucking hell. Vehicle 1050.
I think your eyes might be deceiving you, unless you 1050.
No, I have 1050.
Yeah, make sure to specify that you have 1050.
Ah, okay.
Anyone tell me what the next call light would be?
UTO. UTO.
10-4.
Who shot me, by the way? I was gonna say, how the fuck could you shoot as if you were driving?
I couldn't, but I guarantee you that there's going to be a lot of people that believe they can.
Because I'm fucking struggling driving fucking and reading the bloody street names.
Again, a lot of practice. Could it be worth restarting the...
Alright, where do we meet for the reset?
See if it works for everybody. Gonna be...
The rover at the airport.
Yeah, gonna be at the airport.
Might want to make the text a bit bigger for the street names because it is really small.
I still don't say them.
I can't see it either.
So you like to join back? No, feel free.
Was that a 1050?
Yeah, dispatch suspect just 1050. Spectacularly.
Oh yeah, I can't die.
Wow. So you shot me and you can't even die.
Yeah. I mean, someone would have killed me.
Well, it sure as fuck wouldn't have been me.
Right. So, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, that's obviously a very, very basic test of 1080s. That's not quite like a full thing. There is a lot to cover on that. There is a lot of info to go through regarding a 1080. For one, there is the application of primary, secondary, and tertiary units. The primary unit in a situation like that is going to be the lead police unit, and that is going to be the unit that is keeping up with the fleeing vehicle at a range of 2 to 5 other cars. You know, you're leaving room to make sure if he brake checks you, you don't go into the back of him. The primary unit's job is, for the most part, just to keep up. The secondary unit is backup and also directions and, well, location. So, secondary unit is in charge of call-outs. The secondary unit is the one that will say that we are northbound here, or southbound here, or westbound here, crossing over here, blah, 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 blah. Tertiary unit is also backup and is there to take over in case the secondary unit has to move up and take over primary, or in case the secondary unit happens to 1050. There are a lot of things to keep in mind with pursuits, which is that everyone is going to be different. Every fleeing suspect is going to try different things. Some might very well try and brake check you. Some might very well try and shoot. You cannot shoot from your vehicle. That's straight up not allowed. If needs be, you can call off a pursuit. If the speeds are getting too high, if the stakes are getting too high, if it's getting too dangerous, you can call it off. You can back off and say that, you know, let dispatch know that you are doing that. You know, it is too dangerous. It is not safe. They are shooting at you, you know, blah, blah, blah. There is always reason to call off a chase in that situation. It's fine. Generally speaking, you will get them later. But, again, 1080s, as far as I'm concerned, are going to be something to properly handle a little bit further down the line. So what I want to do for a minute is just slow things down for a second and go over a couple of details regarding the tools for your job. Can anyone tell me where and when and why you would use a nightstick? Hamaz, can you give me a reason to use a nightstick? As in actually give me not the answer, but actually give me a reason to use a nightstick.
Hit someone?
No, actually,
Like, do the thing.
No.
that right there is why I would use a nightstick. Basically, instead of having to use my fists, I have a metal pole with which to hit them. And I guarantee you it's going to hit them a lot harder than my fist. It is basically a way of one-upping someone that's trying to assault you with nothing but their fists, or if they have a melee weapon that you are confident you can deal with a nightstick. Although, generally speaking, if they have a weapon, you're going to want to one-up them again with a firearm. Taser. When and where would you use your taser?
There.
Yeah, actually, a taser would be used if they have a weapon as well. Depending, so it's going to depend on what exactly they're doing. If they are, so it's a tricky one essentially.
If like they're running away as well.
Yeah, you don't want to shoot them without, them shooting you essentially. But a firearm can be a very good way to de-escalate a situation. Generally, you are going to want to go for the taser first. And I would generally say, if they have a weapon, go for a taser. If they have a taser, go for a pistol. That is actually my mistake. 100%. I may or may not have been awake for about 20 hours at this point, so you're going to have to forgive me on that one. Yeah, let's rephrase that. If they're coming at you with their fists, it's going to be a nightstick. If they're coming at you with something like a nightstick, it's going to be a taser. If they're coming at you with something like a taser, it's going to be a pistol. Or if they're coming at you with a pistol, it's also going to be a pistol or a shotgun. Speaking of which, can anyone therefore answer me when I ask, where would you use a pistol? In a situation like this.
If there's a bank robbery or...
He has a weapon with which to get range on me. If he fires that, I can fire... I mean, it's not necessarily lethal, but it is a ranged thing. And, we're not going to have a case of taser v taser here. Shotgun. When would I use a shotgun?
bank robbery.
Uh-huh.
Robbery?
Robberies, yeah. Clearing.
Breaching.
Breaching and clearing. Automatic weapons. What about these?
Same, unless...
Pretty much the same application. These are going to be breaching and clearing. These are going to be more SWAT type weapons. Generally, these are going to be larger banks and larger situations. So if you're going down Grove Street for gang enforcement or SWAT operations, you'll take a carbine rifle. Again, the next one will be SWAT equipment. Same story. It's going to be special weapons and tactics. So if needs be and there's a major incident going on, SWAT will be used. Certifications. There are a whole bunch of them. We're not actually going to go into those just yet because they really aren't that important to a cadet. They'll be important once you become an officer. So there are some processes to go through. Things like reasonable suspicion. Probable cause, the Terry stop. Anyone know reasonable suspicion?
But if you know like who Hammers is and he has warrants out and stuff like that, like he's been arrested for that thing in the past.
Yeah.
So like if he's been drug running quite a lot,
that would
then
be
you
more
can
probable
pull
cause.
over and...
Well, in a sense. So reasonable suspicion is it is less than probable cause, which is the legal standard for arresting someone or issuing a warrant. But it's more than just a kind of regular, it's not just a hunch. It has to be based on facts that you are able to articulate. So you need to be able
they were in the area. If it was shots fired, they had a weapon.
They had a weapon. They had gunshot residue on their hands. That would be reasonable suspicion, which would lead into probable cause. A probable cause is, by definition, reasonable grounds to believe that a particular person has committed a crime, especially to justify making a search or preferring a change. So probable cause is essentially an escalation of reasonable suspicion, which, you know, kind of gives you that belief that they have done a thing. But generally, you need probable cause to issue a warrant, an arrest, or the next thing, which would be a search.
So basically enough evidence then.
Essentially. So the next thing is called
You
a
can't exactly just search someone for being a dick.
Yeah. The next thing is a Terry stop, which again by definition is a brief detention of a person by police on reasonable suspicion of involvement in criminal activity, but short of probable cause to arrest. So if you have reasonable suspicion, it's going to lead to a Terry stop, which may then lead to probable cause. So you have reasonable suspicion that Jamez Escobar... Well, let's say you got a CDS complaint, someone selling weed down by, let's say, Crusade Medical. You roll down there, you see Mr. Escobar. Mr. Escobar has previous for drug running. He's in the area. That's kind of reasonable suspicion that he might be up to something. You could issue a quick Terry stop, give him an over-the-clothes pat-down. During said pat-down, you feel something that feels like a kind of weird, mushy bag in his inside suit pocket. Leading you to think, okay, that's reasonable suspicion off of this Terry stop that leads me to believe that he has weed. So that's my probable cause to at least detain him pending a full search. I then search him. He has weed. I've gone from Terry stop based on suspicion to full arrest. To probable cause based on the search off of the reasonable suspicion to a full arrest. It kind of makes sense if you think of it as a sequence. So your suspicion can lead to that stop, which can then lead to probable cause, which can then lead to an arrest. If that makes sense. I would recommend reading up on them a little bit. I need to do it myself. I'm a little out of touch with the exact definitions and applications of those three things. But I would recommend just think of them as a sequence. The final thing on my list is robberies, which I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if I have the energy in me at the moment to go through robberies. I've been, again, you know, I've been around for like 20 hours at this point. But the thing with robberies, I suppose, is we can cover those on another day and kind of go over the full 1080s on another day as well. The thing to keep in mind with robberies, though, I suppose, is that they are extremely high-risk situations. However, unless the back door of a building is something that you can, that they can get out of, they have to go through you. And if there are multiple officers staged in different locations, you can either wait them out, or you can breach and be fairly sure you're going to take them down. There's no guarantee, though, so that's something to keep in mind. But we will pick this up another day. I got to rest a bit. But generally speaking, good work. Like, I cannot